Hi everyone. It is my pleasure to meet Kристина Трифонова and Bob Spence in Rotary Means Business. This is our first international event, and I believe we will have many more such successful events to come. Tonight's topic is, let me read it precisely, is to unlock the secrets to small business success, how small businesses can sell to large businesses. For our speaker and guest, let me say a few words about Rotary and Rotary Means Business. Rotary is a global network of 1.4 million friends, leaders, and problem solvers who see the world where people unite and take action to create lasting change. And it is also one of the 3 largest humanitarian organizations globally. Rotary Means Business Fellowship, or as we call it, RMB, is a Rotary International Friendship community focused on supporting businesses, encouraging Rotarians to support the success of each other by doing business with them, by referring others to them, and by helping each Rotarian grow his business, because Rotarians with strong businesses are strong Rotarians. The first fellowship was organized a long time ago, actually 21 years ago in 2003. And Rotary International have formalized Rotary Means Business as an official fellowship in 2013. So that's 11 years ago. Currently, there are 212 chapters international of Rotary Means Business in 41 countries. And for those of you that are first time in RMB, our Bulgarian group was formed over a year ago, and its active members now are Rotarians from different cities in Bulgaria, and different clubs in Bulgaria. We have right now around 200 people that have extended their interest in our group. Now, I think it's enough for me talking. I'm your host today. My name is Eli, and I'm a past president of Rotary Club Sofia Center and past chair of the PR committee of our district for the past 2 years. Also, I'm a CEO and co-founder of the AI chatbot platform Omni. That's very short about me. Now I'll open the floor to Bob and Chrissy or Christina to introduce each other because they'll do that better than me. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ellie, and it's absolutely fantastic to be engaging with the RMB. It's a terrific initiative, and I would encourage anyone else on the call to get other members to get involved, because when you're in business, Ellie, you don't know what you don't know. So we're very lucky to have Christina on the call because she's with VIVACOM, premier telecom provider in the Balkans. And what excites me so much about having you on the call, Chrissy, is you cover the SME market, the small medium enterprise market, from the perspective of a international player. So from my point of view, it's terrific that you're involved with this Q&A session. And I also had the privilege of meeting you through the British Bulgarian Business Association. And it's my first opportunity to congratulate you to being voted onto the board. So you've got an international slant to that as well. So that's Christina. So over to you.
Oh, thank you very much, Bob. And I always would love to join an event like this where we can be helpful to people to get more insight about how they can sell to bigger companies. Since we've met, I don't remember, probably more than 6 months ago, which is not a very long time. Through the BBBA, I've seen such an amazing progress working with you, because you are a partner of BBBA in the UK market, and so far you've helped so much bringing Bulgarian companies to the UK market, helping with inside information. And also your initiative for Bulgarian universities, especially Trachea University, is amazing. I'd love more people to know about it, because you're really helping the university to bring the students to the UK to be part of accelerating programs there. And I'd love to help you develop this more. I really believe that you can do a difference here regarding the work between universities and schools. So I congratulate you on that. And thank you very much for all your contacts and your support. It's been an amazing partnership. I hope that it will continue. So without further ado, let's start the conversation then. And I'd like to ask you, what is the advantage of selling to big businesses?
Well, that's a great opening question. It gets right to the situation. And there's a one-word answer, profit. That's the one-word answer, profit. Also, it's a springboard for growth because technically, if you have the choice between looking after one customer with one customer relationship process, with one financial engagement, it's more effective than having 20 to produce the same volume of revenue. There is a balance to this. There is a balance. We had a great Q&A earlier with Lubo, and he pointed out that it is a concern if too much of your business is linked to one customer. That is a fact. But I would suggest if you do what you're doing and then add to it that you're looking for bigger business, it creates economies of scale. And I think when you are a small business, it's hard to believe that you can sell to bigger business. But the thing is, Christina, bigger business, not just in the UK, but Bulgaria also like doing business with smaller businesses. And I'll tell you why. Smaller businesses are more agile, flexible, innovative. It's a lot easier to do that when you're a small business than if you're a global company. And quite often, decision makers in larger companies, they want to buy from smaller businesses. They don't quite know how to, because sometimes it's easier to go with who you know. But right now, the opportunity is with the climate change, the net zero initiative, the change of economy. There are opportunities to upsell because big business want to do business with agile, flexible, innovative, forward-thinking businesses, and that comes from small businesses. But the key advantage, Chrissy, it's profit.
Yeah. And speaking of the points that Lubo made previously, that there is a way to manage the risk. If you have one very big client, you can use the revenue stream that you've got from this company to develop and be able to sell to others so that you can increase the customer base that you have.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So why do you think selling to big businesses is helping and so important for the economic growth?
Well, I'm going to share you it from a UK point of view, but I'm delighted to understand that it's a Bulgarian point of view as well. To grow the economy, it's easier to get 30 smaller businesses to grow by 500%, to each hire 10 people, than it is to get a huge company with an international footprint with shareholder demands to generate the same volume. In the UK, I think this is no secret, and it comes from the tech sector, but it's actually innovation. So let's not get too caught up that it's all technology, but it's innovation. The UK VC market, Chrissy, raises more money in London than Berlin, Paris, Warsaw, Bratislava, Prague, Budapest, Bucharest, and Sofia all put together, because the UK economy is focused on startups, scale-ups. I'm not saying that means the UK economy is better than any other. It has this feature, Chrissy, because of banking.
Yeah.
But the emphasis, whenever I speak to Pavel Lisev of the fund of funds, it's the same thing. They're trying to get funding into the smaller businesses that can grow and the scale-ups that can grow further, because they recognize that that is where the growth is. That's where the growth is. So that's the answer there. Now, I'd like to ask you a question, because working for VIVACOM, if anybody knows the SME market, it's going to be you, because you're a lead in that market. So I think I can reference you as an expert, so no pressure. So all day long, you speak to small businesses, medium businesses. What advice can you give smaller businesses in creating business opportunities? What advice can you give? Because you referenced in one meeting we had in Sofia the importance of referrals. So I'd like to hear you talk about that, Chrissy.
Yeah, well, I would like to give two advice, not just one, but I'll start with referrals and building up a network and how important it is. Because there are various ways in building a network. You can use business networks like Rotary on the British Bulgarian Business Association, which are very, very helpful with this. But also you can search actively and meet people and build a network, finding intel, finding someone from the big company that you want to sell to, and learn how processes are happening there, how they make decisions, who is the decision maker, what's their procurement process, everything that needs to be understood about the company, and what is the business needs that they will solve with your product. This is very, very important. And once you get this intel and you build a strategy and you're prepared to approach, you can use the business network that you've already made to have a meeting. And after that, you will need to get an expert of how to prepare your offer, because some of these procedures with the procurement or tender procedures, it depends on who you're going to sell to. Some of them might require a lot, might require certificates, might require a lot of written materials, a lot of knowledge that you need to be willing to provide. You need to spend time on or hire someone to do it. But you need to know what resources you're going to need to put into the offering before you go to a meeting. You need to go there prepared and think if it's worth to go. What do you think about this?
Yeah, there's a number. I'm writing notes as you're talking about this. The idea of searching for intel, it's so vital, because big businesses want to buy from smaller businesses. They do, because the most innovative entrepreneurial people aren't always in the big business space. Some of them are, like yourself. We call them in the UK intrapreneurs. But quite often, if you're looking for an innovation, you have to look outside. But the challenge is the smaller businesses don't understand how the biggest business makes a decision. They don't understand the procurement pathway. So it's quite hard for a big business to engage with a smaller business. So if as a smaller business, somebody wanted to do something, say with VIVACOM, the first thing is to sort of understand, well, what are the goals of VIVACOM currently? What are they? Am I likely to fit in with the goals of VIVACOM? It's a public listed company. It's not a secret what the goals of VIVACOM are. And then you discover, okay, I might meet that agenda. So which part of the VIVACOM business should I be talking to? And if I did speak to that part of the business, what kind of conversation is appropriate? What kind of information do they want from me? What kind of standards are they going to want from me? What financial information? What technical information? What intellectual property information? You see, Christina, anybody that approaches VIVACOM with that thinking it makes it easier to work with them. And people buy from people, Christina, not companies. They buy. If you make it easy for me to buy from you, I will keep talking to you because it's in my interest. If every time we meet, I understand that you don't know this, you don't know that, you haven't got this, this is new information. I'm almost in every sales meeting, I'm having to teach you how to sell to me. And no one's got time for it, Chrissy. No one has. So that would be my view.
It will be felt at a certain point like a waste of time, and people will start avoiding you. You're not going to get more meetings with them. They're going to be very busy all of a sudden all the time. I'd like to ask you something very interesting. I started when I introduced you saying that you are involved in several tech accelerators in the UK, which is very, very interesting. I know more details about them, but I'd like you to share because you are constantly supporting small businesses in selling technology to much larger ones, and you're helping them negotiate much better. And you referenced in Sofia conference that we had previously that strategically they must build multiple relationships. What does this mean?
Yes, it plays into other areas. At the conference which the BBBA sponsored, with a bigger company, it's unlikely that you'll be, let's call it selling, because that's what it is, and let's call it selling and buying. It's not a criminal statement. You need to get your sales argument in front of more than one person. So, for example, my software business has been successful in speaking to legal firms in the UK, in London. And I know that we have to have had a conversation with 4 or 5 people, and we need relationships with those 4 or 5 people. So we need a relationship with the technology lead, head of tech, the tech lead, because we're tech. If we don't have a relationship with them behind the scenes, it's disruptive. We need to have a relationship with human resources. Why? Because new technology will affect the way they train, induct, and onboard people. So HR need to know about this. We need to be speaking with the lawyer that runs the busiest department of that legal firm, because you introduce new technology, it's disruptive, there's a long-term win, but short-term pain. If the lead of the busiest part of the legal practice is not prepared to trade short-term problems for long-term profits, we haven't got a deal. I need to also speak to one of the partners, because the investment will come out of the equity of the legal firm. So I need to understand, where's the firm going? How profitable it is? Is this a decision they can make? Without going through every single part of a legal firm in London, it's exactly the same argument if someone's looking to do business with VIVACOM or anyone else that's a larger business. You will have to build relationships with more than just the person buying what it is you offer. I usually think, Christina, it requires an end user. It will require someone from finance. It will require someone with operations. And if you do not have a relationship with those people, it's unlikely that the procurement lead, the buyer, can sell your idea to all of those people, because they need to be as good at selling what you do as you do. And that is unlikely. So that was the point I made. I hope that shed some light on multiple relationship selling.
I totally agree with you, because these people need to trust you that you're going to solve a problem for them, or with your presence and with your product, they are going to get better, not worse. Because it's for someone running a certain department to be forced into a change that may lead to a very low experience or productivity that is getting worse and affecting their results, I don't think that anyone would agree if they don't trust you that you can make things better for them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this leads into something else, and because you work for VIVACOM, you'll understand it probably more so, because VIVACOM have got a very strong brand capacity and customer service proposition. It's why the company's been so successful across the Balkans. But when you're a smaller company, you won't have a brand as powerful as VIVACOM. So what you have to work on is that people buy people. People buy people. Like when I'm selling our software to banks in Germany and Poland, we haven't got a brand. We have a brand. We've got a logo. We have the usual things that you can see on any website in Bulgaria. We've got the same thing. I mean, a brand, like we've been in business for 25 years, and this is our story. A brand is more than a logo. It's what we stand for. We don't have that. So the only way we can compete is by this multiple relationship strategy, where we are selling to multiple people. So there are multiple people that we can build chemistry with, personal relationships with, because people buy people. So in our company, because we don't have a brand, I've got a very strong technology lead in Alexandra Gora. Mr. Gora was educated in Gliwice in Silesia, and he's got qualifications in England and Germany that are strong. My brand within that company, our company really doesn't have, if I named it on this call, people saying, well, who's that? But because I worked for Barclays Bank, Chrissy, because I worked for Coutts Bank, the Strand, which was the bank of the British royal family, and also the bank of Dimitar Berbatov, for all you kids out there, it means something. It's a top bank. So I could talk about our software within the context of who I'd worked with before. So when you're selling to a bigger company, I'm also thinking as well, which I hope Ellie doesn't mind, the success of Omni, because Ellie's got a terrific track record in that sector. So when I was talking to people in the UK about having Omni in a conference, the fact that Ellie had done so much prestigious work, it was a personal brand I was selling, not the product brand. So this multiple relationship business development, it links to branding. It really, really does. So, I mean, how do you see it in the SME market? Sorry, I spoke too long then. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. You actually provided valuable information. Well, you are totally right. VIVACOM opens a lot of doors. And being a telecom provider, everyone needs to have services from one of the telecoms here. Everyone nowadays uses a cell phone and internet. Without that, we're completely lost. So this opens a lot of doors, because when you work with a client for a long time, you build trust. And then they can easily reference you to others. So this is a very big part of our sales. Someone referencing us to someone else. I have always tried to imagine what it would be if you go selling without the brand. It might be very, very difficult if you need to go and do that. But I think that using examples of who you work with before, and using your network of people referring you might be very helpful. But you need to build a reputation that what you are selling is going to perform, because whatever you are doing, whoever speaks about you, that you are good, please meet them, no one is going to help the product perform only you can do that.
Yeah.
Only what you are doing with the product, what you are doing with the after sales is going to help you build the reputation you need. So whatever you're doing, the product must perform.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So you are constantly working with smaller tech companies who are trying to engage with bigger companies.
Yeah.
And I know about a very interesting technique that you've shared in your blog. Can you please explain that? I think that it's going to be the most interesting part of this conversation for everyone.
So no pressure then.
No
pressure from Sophia. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the blog you're referencing, it's a concept called turnkey solutions. Turnkey solutions. And the idea, Christina, is that you offer something and I just have to turn a key and it works. That's the idea. How it works in this instance is like this. And I'll use the example, and I appreciate that not everyone on this call is in training, but the example works for everybody. So I was put in front of a large German bank. Good for me. Large German bank. And the actual opportunity was to train 200 bankers how to network in the business community across the 6 regions of Germany. Now that's a huge conversation.
Yeah.
So what I've been trying to do is to search for how can we reduce this to the smallest thing that I could start tomorrow. That's the concept. So in this instance, everyone on this call knows that a training plan to train 200 people across Germany, that is a big conversation, and it's impossible, let alone unlikely, that we're going to get that over the line in a one-on-one meeting. It's not going to happen, Christina. It's just not. They're going to have to get every regional director of the bank on a call, and suddenly this whole conversation, Chrissy, it grinds to a halt over a 6-month period. So I said, we can talk about this. Let me give you an alternative. How about this? Why don't we reduce to the ridiculous the situation? How about we just ran a training program for 10 people? Just 10. Just 10. And we'll make them in the Bavarian region. Just 10. And they're from a specific part of the bank, reporting to a specific manager. It's just 10. Because if we do that, I will discover all the questions that we can't answer because we don't know them. It will de-risk you hiring me. It will remove the risk because it's such a small part of the bank. We will prove that it works. So when you speak to all these directors, you can evidence this was the training, this is the testimonial, this is the reference from the people that were involved in the training. So what do you say? What do you say, Karina? What do you say to that? And it's less of a risk. It's not, of course, I want to train 200 people. That's a healthy training program, a healthy contract for anyone.
Yeah.
But let's do it turnkey. That I will give you something off the shelf. We will do it. And if you can say yes, I can be over there next. It's Thursday today. I can be in Germany on Wednesday to do the due diligence and sign the contract. How about that? So what I'm offering her is a turnkey. If she says yes, it's a very easy set of actions. I come over. It's a 10-person program. There's one manager, one director. It's plug and play. I accept that on this call, people will be saying, well, my business can't do that. Try and search for, is it possible to do something like that? And that's what a turnkey solution is. I can't offer, imagine you're with me in that meeting and Karina says, well, 200 people. And I said to her, okay, it's Thursday today, 200 people, no problem. I'll be in Berlin on Wednesday to sign the paperwork. You work for VIVACOM. You know that
Never gonna happen.
You just laugh. You'd start kicking me under the table and saying that no company of that size, that's not going to happen. It's got to be small, edible, and very easy to say yes to. And it needs to start so easy that she's thinking, rather than speak to all these other companies, if I work with this guy, it's turnkey. I say yes, he turns the key, it starts. And that's it. If it makes sense, saying Sophia.
Yeah, it opens the door. It makes perfect sense. Because after that, you continue the conversation with them. And they get to trust you. They see you in action. And I liked what you said before when we were discussing this point. What is the smallest thing that I can start with? What is it? What is the lowest authority that needs to approve this?
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I always try it and think, is there something we can do for less than 5,000 euros?
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing because, I'm sure people are aware that in Germany there are big contracts, but if it's a 5,000 euro contract, most people have got the authority to think, I can do that. It's not a huge risk.
To make decisions.
Yeah. Well, I kind of broke into a few things there. So I want to pull back your expertise because you're working in a multinational company, a premium company. It's a premium company. So within that company, you're speaking to lots of different SMEs. So I'm pretty certain you'll be aware that you probably have to make different presentations to different types of company. You'll have the core VIVACOM offer, but you'll break it down into what's relevant. So the other way round, could this work in terms of a small business making a sales presentation to a big business? How might that play out? Because if I presented something to VIVACOM, there might be you, there might be your boss, HR, operations. They're not all interested in the same thing, Chrissy. So how does it work?
Well, I've seen so many different things, but I can give you an example, which was a recent one. There is a very interesting innovation that wants to sell to our company. And I find the idea very interesting once I was told, because I know the company from the inside. And I know which business needs this solution might solve. But I also know that different stakeholders in our company must decide if they want it or not, if they're going to make it happen. So what I did, because I was presented to the solution, I was talking to the company, because they're also a customer of ours, and they presented what they're selling. I advised on how they can approach. And I also offered to help to set up a meeting. So what I'm explaining with this example is that once you find people inside the organization who are in a position of opening the door for you, like setting up a meeting and telling you intel of what you need to do while you're presenting your product, then it's much more easier for you to prepare. So this is a strategy that small businesses can use because, different directors don't have enough time. They may go to the meeting and just have 5 minutes and say, this is not interesting, I'm out. If you haven't picked their interest, it's very important how you're going to start, what you're going to say, so that these people can really stay until the end and ask you questions and engage with you. So you need someone to help you prepare. That's how it works everywhere. And people, we do this usually by intuition. It's the way we actually communicate to each other. So I don't think it's a secret for anyone.
No.
But the key is to prepare. Don't go there just explaining the same presentation that you are showing everywhere. Prepare, do something about it, and think in advance how you're going to start and what you're going to say. Yeah, that's
that completely makes sense, and that's a great perspective from a market leading company of how to go about something. Well, I guess we're down to the final question. So
yeah. Well, in the last presentation that you made in Sofia, you explained the importance of rapid engagement once the agreement was in place. So can you explain to our audience what you meant?
Yeah, rapid engagement. This was with the BBBA as well. It was to get across that when you do business, it includes Bulgaria. It's not a British perspective. There's an English saying, start how you mean to go on. Start how you mean to go on. I don't know who that's a quote to, but as soon as you get a green light, demonstrate that you're prepared to engage immediately. So I'll give you an example of this. It's not from training. It's actually from a Trachea University. A connection in the UK agriculture said, yeah, I could be interested in that. So I said, so is that a yes? Just so I understand where you're coming from. Is that a yes? And she went, yeah. I said, okay. So if I get the terms and conditions over to you tomorrow, can we get on a call tomorrow at 8 o'clock? Can we do that? I just know that you're really busy and I wouldn't want this to kind of fade, because things fade. And it's understanding that with a bigger business, if someone says yes, you really have to go immediately, because people in big businesses are so busy that if you don't go immediately, if you say, well, okay, I'll drop you an email and we'll have a meeting in 2 weeks' time to go through the terms and conditions. No, if you get a yes, can we go through it at 8 o'clock tomorrow? Can we have a breakfast meeting at 7:30? The reason being, we're really serious about this, really serious, and we want to get this going immediately. Believe you me, big businesses prefer that, because usually when a big business does business with a big business, it can be like watching paint dry. So if you can generate urgency, that's the very reason why big businesses partner with a small business. I got some work. I can't name who it is because we're recording this. It's nothing bad, Ellie, but I won some work in the city of Leeds from a major university. Now, let's get real here, Chrissy. There's no way that I can compete intellectually with a university, with a business school. I mean, let's get real. I can't. It's also true that they can engage lots more expertise around this particular thing than I can. But the difference was that the person that was buying this expertise, they'd already had 5 meetings with the university. They had one with me. I wrote the proposal during the night, as I know you would, or I know that Ellie would. They had the proposal the following day, and I said, I can get over to Manchester for 4 o'clock. Can we go through it? And the decision maker, she said, you're really keen on this. I said, yeah, I mean, if you want to do it with me, great. And if you don't want to do it with me, I understand. There's no law that says you have to do it with me. But if you do want to do this and you want to get it signed off, I'm there. And that's what won it. Because if you're a buyer, you do not have the time to have lots and lots of meetings unless it's going somewhere. Now, I am not going to suggest that that's how to sell in the UK. But this time, it was the right thing to do. It was, okay, we're on, we're in, let's go. So that's what I was referencing, and we've got somebody who's opened up their microphone. So I don't know who that is, Ellie. I'll just say welcome, whoever they are. So yeah, so that's the so that's what I meant. It's just don't be timorous or kind of gentle. Just say, okay, if we've got agreement, when? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Be fast. In Bulgaria we have this saying, go while the customer is hot, warm, or I don't know how to translate it the right way, because people here know what this means. You need to close the deal while the customer is still willing to, because after 24 hours they might start to question.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the thing. So that's got to be the quickest 40 minutes I've ever been on a call. So I think, Christina, we've ended here and it's over to Ellie, I think.
Yeah.
So we're looking for Ellie.
Yes. Let's see for a couple minutes if there are questions from the audience for something that they want to have clarity on, they didn't understand, or they want to hear additionally. So if you have question, please unmute yourself and ask it.
Ellie, I didn't have exactly a question, but maybe it's a question, but I want to share my short experience with these negotiations with huge companies. A few years ago, a very large company approached us to offer them our services. They said, we have studied and investigated how you work, and we trust you because the references from other customers are very good. But when we started the negotiations, the only point on the table was they press us for lower prices. And negotiations were 1 year period. And the second problem was that the terms of the contract were extremely favorable to them, but not to the small company. So my question is, what is exactly how the small company can negotiate with huge, because they always, I think, press for decrease and reducing prices, and we have to choose turnover or profit. Because we choose the huge company, the turnover will be increased, but the profit will be less. And what is the Libra? How to to exactly the Libra be equal? Thank you.
Can I just respond, Ellie? Is that okay?
Yes, please go ahead. The question was to you, I think, and to Christina, if she wants to do also remarks.
Well, the first thing, it's Violina. Is that correct? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Violina?
Yes.
Okay. Have you and I ever met before?
Yeah.
Have we?
Yeah.
We
didn't met.
Have we met? I didn't know that. The reason I say this is because I thought we had never met. And what you are asking is the exact topic of our next session. It's the exact topic. It's how to resist discounts and how to deal with that. So unfortunately, I cannot give you a 1-word or 2-word response, because that's our next session. How do you negotiate terms with such a big company? The great thing is you can confirm that I didn't ask you to ask this question, did I? No. So I thank you for asking this question, because it's what we're going to deal with. There's some very special things that you have to do in negotiation with bigger companies. And it happens all the time that you'll find this huge pressure. You even get other things, Violina, like, well, if you deal with us, you get to say that you're working with us, and that has to be worth a discount.
Yes.
Well, the truth of it is, it's not worth a discount unless you can get a discount on your mortgage or your house loan or your car loan. It's not worth anything. So if it's all right, Ellie, I'm so thankful that Miss Kostova has brought this up, but it would take us 35, 40 minutes. But all I can say is there's very specific things that you can do and you must do. Otherwise, you'll go out of business, especially if the payment terms are like long. Because they also ask for this. They say, we want a discount and we'll pay you 60 days. And you're thinking, hang on, whoa, you're living on my bank balance for 60 days until you pay me for the work that so I'm with you. We have to explore this. So I don't have a short answer apart from to agree with you and share with you it's the next topic, which is in September. So thank you for bringing it up.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to hear official confirmation of our next topic and next meeting right now in the air. I didn't know that yet. So thanks for sharing the secret. Christina, would you like to add anything, something on the question?
Yeah, I'd like to add some things, because usually not just selling to big companies, but sometimes when you're selling and you have other competitors on the table that provide the same things, you're in the same situation. So there are certain techniques that you can use negotiating. They might not work every time, depends on how strict things are. So I believe it's going to be very useful to talk about this on the next session, because it's not really a 5-minute answer to that. But there is this Bulgarian saying that we have: don't compare apples with pears. I don't know if it's the right way to translate that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to find something else. And I know that you have this something else. So you need to just find it and bring it up. But I'd love to discuss that next time when we meet again. Really, it's an interesting topic.
Yeah, it's a key topic. I mean, briefly, Violina.
Yeah, it will be very useful for us. Thank you.
Yeah. The concept, you can look it up under something called the zone of potential agreement, or in England, it's known as the area of potential agreement. So in America, it's called the zone, and it's what you can do in that area. So that's what we're going to explore with the Rotary. But there are specific things, and they're not tricks. They're not things that are kind of unprofessional. They're very professional, where you have to lay out the rules of engagement at the start. Otherwise, my experience is over a 12-month period, they wear you out. But we'll go through it, Violina, and I really look forward to seeing you on the next one. It'll be a real pleasure to explain it. So back to the hostess with the mostess, Ellie.
Thank you, Bob. Anybody else have questions to our two speakers? In addition to the question of the request of contacts in the chat that we already got. Any questions from you?
I'm going to share my LinkedIn profile now there, so that we can...
Okay. Yeah.
It's a good one as well. So I would recommend that everyone on this call reaches out to Chrissy. And if you're not connecting to Ellie, you should be. So there you go.
Yeah. Most likely people in this call, they're Rotarians, so we should already have our contacts through Rotary. But yes, I left already my telephone number in the chat too. I'm in Viber, in WhatsApp, so any mean of communication is good to me. Also, people can look for me in LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'll just put my GSM in because I'm on WhatsApp, and it's a UK number, and I'll just dig out my LinkedIn also, because although you know me as Bob, my name is actually John Bob. Lucky me, John Bob. So that doesn't help when people try and look for me. like I've got a secret agent name. I've got more than one name, Ellie, and that doesn't help. Blame my dad, blame my mother.
You have unique history and background behind yourself, so.
Well, I don't think that's going to help the Rotary. There you go. Here he is, John Robert Spence. Woo! Yeah, I don't know, you guys. So I would say it's a bit of a wrap there. And from me in England, Ellie, it's a really kind of you to invite me onto this, and I hope it was a good session for the Rotary. And I look forward to working with you on Umni in the UK. Really looking forward to that. And Chrissy, I'll see you shortly with more things to do with the British Bulgarian Business Association. Hey.
Another project.
Yeah.
So excited.
If there are no other questions from the audience, then on behalf of the Rotary business community, thank you so much for your time. And I understand that if you may have some notes to go out next week to people that attended, I will share the link to this recording to our RMB YouTube channel, to the Facebook group, and to the Viber group, so Rotarians can watch the recording and think more questions if they have for our next meeting in September. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Bob, for being with us tonight. And I wish you both good night, as well as good night to all friends here in our call.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, Christina and Bob. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night, guys. Bye.